Tunes 92.5, 104.5. Honor, privilege, hell of a good guy. I've been watching him since he was with the AWA Wrestling. He's come a long way. Diamond Dallas Page, thank you for talking to us today, man. How are you?
Man, I never had a bad day in my life, Johnny.
You're always positive. I read your book, Positive Page. I love this. It gave me a lot of hope and influence. You never have a bad day.
Well, I've had a lot of sore ones when I was beat up, but I never had a bad one, man. I'm happy to be alive, and I try to, a positive attitude will breed positive people around you. Because I don't let any negative people hang out with me. Like, they're not even. I'll try and turn them around, but if I can't, it's like, I don't have the time for this. I want to be around people who want to grow.
Now, the big thing that that I'm just astounded by is your work with Jake the Snake Roberts. Everybody loved Jake. How did you first meet him?
I actually met Jake in my nightclub back in 1985, and we became drinking buddies, of all things, because I ran this nightclub. And then I'd seen him a couple times over that. Then I got into wrestling as a manager and a color commentator. I hadn't seen him for a while until I got to WCW. And, they brought me in as a manager and a color commentator, and then 3 months later, or 5 months later, they were like, dude, you're overshadowing the talent. We should have given you a pair of boots and tights and see if you could do this. Well, I had 7 months left of my contract. So I went down to the power plant, and I said, and I was there every day. I was the first to come, the last to leave. I was there to set a precedent there, and I ended up, at 35 and a half, being put on TV as a wrestler, and on the show, and I was the oldest rookie ever, living the dream of an 8-year-old child,
Mm-hmm.
But I had a long, hard road from there because no one really believed in me. At 35 and a half, so when I started my wrestling career, at 40, my wrestling career took off, and that was in 1996 when wrestling blew up huge, and then 97 and 98, I was on top of the world. If you looked at Pro Wrestling Illustrated's top 500, both years, 97 and 98, Stone Cold Steve Austin was number 1. Diamond Dallas Page was number 4. So I was living the dream at a whole different level, man. And that's, I just signed a multi-million-dollar deal, and that's when I blew my back out.
Mm-hmm.
3 different back specialists said I was never going to wrestle again, and that's where yoga came into my life. And I'm the guy who wouldn't be caught dead doing yoga. So I ended up finding a tape that I could semi-relate to, and watched did the class on VHS, and eventually I started to get a little bit better, a little bit stronger. First 3 weeks I felt a significant difference, and then I took the yoga positions, got rid of all the spiritual mumbo-jumbo. Not that there's anything wrong with that, it just didn't work for me, but I took the yoga positions and started to mix them with rehabilitation techniques and old school calisthenics like push-ups, squats, crunches. Then I threw in isokinetics and isometrics. I call it dynamic resistance, and all it is the engaging or flexing of muscles. And just like you're lifting weights or running, you're engaging and flexing muscles. But I did them in a position where I'd be flexing and engaging, whether it's a push-up or whatever it is, and I realized that every time you flex or engage a muscle, your heart has to beat faster to get the blood to the muscle. So what ended up happening, Johnny, I ended up creating a workout, which today is known as DDP Yoga, and it is a kick-ass cardiovascular workout that can dramatically increase your flexibility and strengthen your core like never before with minimal joint impact. Those 3 doctors at 42 said I would never wrestle again. 3 months later, I was back in the ring. At 42, they said I was done. At 43, I was a heavyweight champ of the world. And the only way that it ever happened was because Dusty Rhodes, American Dream, gave me every break early on in my career. The only way I became a 3-time world champion was because of Jake the Snake Roberts. And I always wanted to pay him back.
And now you saved his life.
Well, it's funny because, I have a section I'm building at DDPYoga.com. That's where you get all the DVDs and the app, 3 months free of the app on DDPYoga.com. But we're putting together a section. People who say, Diamond, I can't explain to you, on Twitter, Facebook, how much you've changed my life. And half of them roll right into what I should really say saved my life.
Mm-hmm.
And, if people were in a really bad spot, man, and I helped them get turned around, along with my team. Are very, they're a big part of everything I do.
Now, there's I'm a big guy. It's no secret. And I tell you what, Diamond, I've had every excuse in the world, and I'm really trying and exercising and everything like that. But, I don't want to do yoga. That's too hard. But you have some stories. And of course, everybody will always tell. If you just YouTube Arthur DDP, you'll see Arthur's story. Tell me about him, please.
Arthur was a disabled vet who could not walk without the aid of his knee braces and his back brace and his wraparound cane. He was 5'6", 297 pounds. All he wanted to do was lose 50 pounds so the doctors could operate on his knees so he could start to walk without the crutches. And I started him on my program in 2 weeks because he ate exactly the way I told him. He did everything I told him to do. He lost 20 pounds and 4 inches off his stomach. In that month, he would lose 34 pounds. The next month, he lost 22 pounds. The next month, he lost 18 pounds. That's 74 pounds in the first 3 months. In a total of 10 months, he would go on to lose 140 pounds. More importantly, he lost the knee braces, the back brace, and those wraparound canes, not just to walk, but run. But what's really amazing, he's never had those knee operations.
Oh, he never did?
Never did. So my point is, when you have a workout that's going to strengthen your body, that has minimal joint impact, but also is kick-ass cardio, you get to burn those calories off. But what started to really make a difference was that the food that he was eating real food. And what you don't know, and I'm going to turn you on to, is why you can't lose the weight and what they've done to the food. Like, you've heard of GMOs, right?
Yeah.
What does it mean to you, though?
It's stuff that's added to the, yeah.
No. They completely genetically changed the food. It was developed in a lab, not where God created it in the fields with the seeds. They've regenetically changed the seeds. So I'm going to send you a bunch of stuff, John. I'm going to send you a bunch of stuff that's going to, I'm going to send you a list. And if you actually do the list and do what I'm telling you to do, I'm going to help you. But if you don't, then I don't have the time.
I will be the next Arthur. Thank you, Diamond. I've been told to wrap it up here because you have other radio stations to call. Thank you so much.